This prison story is about what Lil Man from Flint, Michigan told me that Big Thomas tried to sexually violate him in the prison shower. Now, for those that don't know who Lil Man is a guy that I grew up with in Flint, Michigan. See, Lil Man was maybe 5'1", 5'2". He was like a really little dude. I don't want to call him a dwarf or a midget, but because I done seen dwarfs and midgets, but I don't know. He was just a really small, short guy, right? But we all used to call him 6'4". I know y'all like, man, what you mean 6'4"? But you say he was like 5'2". Yeah, he maybe was 5'2", but he had heart like he was 6'4", 6'5", right? But we'll get into that later. So anyway, he come knocking on my cell door. And I'm like, who that? And he was like, it's me, it's man. I said, man, because right now I'm laying on the top bunk because my cellie is this old man. And I know, y'all gonna be like, oh, Donta, you said that to establish dominance in the cell, you gotta take the bottom bunk. But listen, let me tell you something. You got an old man that can barely get in and get out the bed. Ain't no way he gonna sleep on the top rack, all right? So I had a little bit of heart, okay? So excuse me for being a human. Or I could just dog them out and made them sleep on the floor, right? But then y'all would dog me out in the comment section. But let's leave that alone. Let's get back to the story. So he knocked on the door. I'm like, what's up? So he stepped in. He said, man, Donta, I got a problem, bro. I got a problem. I'm like, what's going on? He was like, man, your boy Big Thomas, man, he keep pressing me. I said, pressing you for what? He was like, man. So he dropped his head. I said, hey, Lil Man, are you smoking K2? He ain't say nothing. He was like, he just kept shaking his head. I said, dog, I told you, don't deal with no homosexuals in here. Don't gamble in here. And don't smoke. He was like, yeah, I know, but man, I've been going through a lot, man, and I needed some tree. You know, tree is like weed or K2 or whatever. So I said, all right, what happened? He was like, well, I owe him $100, and you know, my mom, she ain't putting up no more money on the books. Her Social Security check, that's all she get. And I'm like, all right, so what's going on? He was like, well, for the last week, Big Thomas, he just keep pressing me, man. When I was over there on the weight bench, you know, he like walked up on me and basically, he basically trying to groom me. I said, well, what you mean? What happened on the weight bench? Well, you know, when you got somebody spot you, right? Dude kept like putting this junk like by my damn face or whatever. And I kept telling him to bag up. And he just walked off and said, you need to give me my money. So I said, what you do after that? He was like, shit, I didn't do nothing. I just let it go. I said, what was the second incident? It was like, well, we was in the lunchroom. I was sitting like on the edge of the table, whatever. And he like kind of tried to sit down in my lap. I said, what? He was like, yeah, he tried to sit on my lap. And I pushed him. And, you know, that's a big dude. I really couldn't do nothing with him. I said, okay. And he was like, well, the third thing that happened, I went to go get in the shower this morning, and you know, he came in there and he told me, do I want to scream or moan? I said, what? He was like, yeah. He asked me, did I want to scream or moan? I said, listen, because you from my city, I'm not going to charge you because I don't want Flint, Michigan to look bad in here. But you owe me. I'm going to go holler at Big Thomas in a minute. Matter of fact, let's stay in the cell. Stay in the cell. I'm finna go holler at him right quick. Right? So I get up and I leave out the cell. Now, Al is 2 cells down from me. So I go over there. I knock on Al's door. He's like, what's going on? I said, Al, go grab your banger. He was like, for what? What's going on? I said, man, let's go grab the banger, man. So Al get up. He go grab a knife, right? So he like, what's this about? I said, we finna go holler at Big Thomas. He was like, for what? I'm like, man, listen, Lil Man just said that Big Thomas is keep trying to push up on him, and he basically told him, like, is they gon', in the shower or whatever. And Al was like, okay, what that got to do with us? I said, it got a lot to do with us, man. He from the city. Al was like, man, bunk all that city, man. He got himself into that. Is he paying us? I said, no, this on me, man. This on me, Al. He was like, man, all right, man. So Big Thomas is down there playing dominoes, right? So I walk up, and he looking at me like, well, what's up, DT? That's what he used to. That's what most of everybody used to call me. That knew me. They were like, what's up, DT, or whatever. I say, hey, Tom, let me holler at you over here by the staircase. Now, for those that don't know, in the Terror Dome, in this unit, there's a blind spot, and that's where the staircase is at. So when I said that, and he seen Al standing there gripping, he was like, yo, man, what's up, man? What's this all about? I said, man, listen, I just need to holler at you about some business. So he like, what business? I said, listen, man, me and you just need to talk. And I just got Al right here just for the sake. And he was like, all right, man, what's up? So we go over there. He like, what's up, man? I said, listen, Lil Man? He was like, yeah, my little B. I said, man, what's up with that, man? Why you pressing him like that? He was like, well, the nigga owe me. He owe me big time. He owe me $300. I said, what you mean he owe you $300? He told me he owed you $100 for some K2. He said, is that what he said? Is that? What else did he tell you? I said, shit, he said that you pressed him on the weight bench. You tried to sit on his lap in the lunchroom, and he just bust out and started laughing, like a hearty laugh. And I'm confused. I'm like, why is he laughing? He was like, man, Dante, man, that was just a tactic, man. I was just fucking with him, man. So he really told you that he only owed me $100 for some K2? I said, yeah, that's what he said. He was like, dog, man, your homeboy Lil Man is a punk, man. He a sissy. I said, what? He was like, yeah, your homeboy is a punk. He is sissy, and he messed with one of my boys, and I caught him. That's why he owed me. I said, whoa. Now, this took me by surprise. I'm like, what you mean? I'm thinking this in my head, like, what you mean Lil Man is a punk? Lil Man is a sissy. He messing with one of Big Thomas' boys. So, if you new to the channel and you haven't heard any of my stories about Big Thomas is a prison pimp. He got about 5 or 6 homosexual guys up under him, and they like his prostitutes. They go out and basically sell their bodies to other men in prison, and they bring him back to commissary or whatever. And apparently, he's telling me that my homeboy Lil Man from Flint, Michigan, Northside, Edmond, and South Saginaw Street, right? That Lil Man, he was messing with one of his boys, and he done ran up a debt, and Big Thomas trying to collect on it, and he see, let me tell y'all something, and I know, a lot of y'all be saying, oh, Dante, oh, you was just an evil man in prison. You had no heart. You had no feelings for no human being. Having feelings and caring about the next man will get you killed in prison. Just like this. Lil Man knew off the bat, that because he was from Flint, Michigan, you know where I'm from, that I was going to hold him down regardless. So when he came to me talking about, oh, Big Thomas trying to push up on me and push up in me, can you protect me? He knew that I didn't want our city to look bad, so he knew that just off that, I was going to have his back. But he lied. You see, I done stuck my big ass nose into some business that I had no business butting my nose into, right? And I'm going to tell you, if you go out and you decide that you want to have relationships, a relation with another man in prison, that's not my business. So when you run up a debt and that pimp that own that punk that you messing with want that bread and you ain't got it, and you come to me talking about, oh, this guy trying to get at me over a K2 debt, but in real life, over a prostitution debt, now I'm upset. Now I want to do something to you, right? So, and sorry about that rant. I just need to fill in some gaps for y'all, for people that didn't know who Big Thomas was. So I'm like, what? So he said, so you telling me that Lil Man that I got up in the cell right now ran up a prostitution debt with you? And he trying to come to me for help? He was like, that's what he told you, K2? I said, yeah, that's what he told me. So Al done stepped up at this point because he done got wind of what we was talking about. And Al was like, wait a minute. So we about to go to war with Big Thomas over a punk, a homosexual? I said, Al, go get that motherfucker out my cell and bring that nigga down here right now. So Al pull out the knife and he run up the stairs, right? So maybe about 20 seconds go by, you see Al grabbing him by his collar. Now, Al is like 5'11", maybe 6 foot. And like I said, Lil Man ain't nothing but maybe 5'1", 5'2". So Al look like a giant holding a little boy by his collar, you know, manhandling him down the stairs. So we get over here. He get him downstairs, right? So it's me, Big Thomas, Lil Man, and Al right here, right under the stairs. So Big Thomas like, so you telling them that I'm trying to have sex with you or something? He was like, yeah, man, yeah, you are. He said, tell him why. Because I already told Dante what happened. You tell him why. Because I was smoking the K2 and what else? It ain't nothing else. So Big Thomas was like, you know what? I got you. Hold on. So he whistled. You know when I can't really whistle. You know when dudes put like, what is it? The thumb and the index finger in their mouth and then they pause. And then they blow like, whoo, whoo. So he do that. And 4 of his punks emerge from their cell. I guess that's like they call or whatever. So they come out their cell and he motioned to one of the punks. And, you know, the other punks go back to their cell and the guy come over there. And he like, what's up, Thomas? What's up, Dante? And I'm like, when he said, what's up, Dante, I instantly got upset because it's like, do you know me? Have we talked before? I don't got no business dealings with you at all. So why you gonna say, what's up, Dante? Maybe he just acknowledged me, you know, of me being, you know, that guy in the pod or whatever. So I don't know. But anyway, so he like, Big Thomas like, hey, I'm about to walk off. So Dante know I ain't on no bullshit. I'm gonna walk off and I'm gonna let you tell Dante what's been going on with this dude. And he walked off. So he was like, the gay guy was like, oh, hey, Dante. I said, man, what's up, man? What happened? He was like, well, Lil Man. And I said, whoa, hold on. We need to go somewhere a little bit more private, right? So I said, we finna go to your cell. Now, I know y'all gonna be like, well, Dante, you said, you know, one of the cardinal rules that you was putting down because you ran a tight ship in prison, that under no circumstances can you talk to a punk or a sissy. That's true. But I also said that you have to have somebody with you as a witness, right? You got to, just like in the Bible, right? In the Old Testament time, they said if you're going to accuse somebody of something, you got to have somebody there also to verify what took in place, right? If you're going to bring some charges up. So yes, Al was my witness, right? So me, Al, Lil Man go to this punk cell, right? Now I said, all right, now tell me everything what happened. So the sissy, I ain't gonna try to put the sissy voice on, but he basically, well, I'm gonna put the sissy voice on. So he was like, well, about 2 weeks ago, you remember that time when you went on to visit Dante? Yeah, that's how he said, man. He was like, Dante, like that. I was like, yeah, what happened? He was like, well, when you went on a visit, he kept looking at me. I was over here playing cards with my homeboys, whatever, and he just kept staring at me, and I kept, I look up and I see him, and he'd look away, and we were just playing eye contact back and forth. And then when I like really caught him looking at me, I kind of like motioned for him to go to the bathroom. I said, what? So Lil Man was like, man, that motherfucker lying. Now Lil Man cutting up. Now Lil Man acting a fool. He acting like he trying to do something now. Now Lil Man act like he want to put hands on a punk or whatever. I'm like, man, sit your down. Man, you sit your ass down, man. So he like, man, I'm telling you, Dante, man, that's fucked up, man. That's fucked up. I ain't do that shit. I said, man, chill out, man. Shut up. I said, keep going. So the sissy was like, yeah, so we end up going in the bathroom, and, I said, what's up, what you want? And he was like, how much is going to cost me? And, I told him the price, and we went to one of the stores, and I said, what? He was like, yeah, we went to a store, and, we did what we did. And, when we was done, he said that he got me on store day. And I told him, like, all right, well, Big Thomas is my war daddy, and, you're going to have to, make sure you give me that money. So he was like, man, this motherfucker lie, man. I swear to God, man. I put that on the city, man. I swear to God, man, that lie, man. That whole lie, man. That ain't never happened. I said, man, kick back, man. Sit your ass down. So he was like, man, no, that's fucked up, man. Y'all trying to take this word over to sissy, man. Fuck that. I said, man, Al, man, get this nigga out the cell. Right? So Al take him out the cell or whatever. And I hear him carrying on. But honestly, I think he was carrying on like that so he can get the attention of the guards, right? But Al done moved him over here, whatever. And I hear Al telling him, like, shut up before he do something to him. Because Al still had that knife on him. So I'm alone in the cell with the punk at this time, right? Now, I'm over here by the door because I know what y'all thinking. Oh, Dante alone with the homosexual. What done happen? No, I'm right here, right by the door. My body halfway in and halfway out of the cell. Pause, right? And the homosexual's way over there on the left side of the bed. So I said, okay, so what else happened? He was like, well, he came to me like a couple days later and said, his mother had the money and, everything gonna be good, but can he get broke off again? So I said, okay, yeah, cool. And I told him, like, I'm gonna have to let, Big Thomas know what's going on. And he was like, yeah, that's cool, man. Just keep it on the low, man, because I don't want everybody in my business. So he said they went in there and they did it again or whatever. And they just kept doing it over the course of that week. So he said, finally, when store day come or whatever, he come to Big Thomas talking about, hey, I only got half of the money. My mama didn't, come through with all the bread or whatever. And, well, this is where we at now, I'm assuming. I said, so hold on. Are you telling me? Look me in my eye. Because what you say next is going to determine whether this man live or die. Are you telling me that Lil Man, the guy that Al just took out the cell, y'all had sex in the bathroom? He was like, Dante, I put that on my kid's life. I guess the gay guy had kids out there or something, whatever. He said, Dante, I put that on my kid's life, on my baby's life. Me and Lil Man had multiple times. I said, all right. So then I walk out. Now, Al and Lil Man is over here by the TV or whatever. And Lil Man is standing there with his fist balled or whatever. I said, so Lil Man, listen. So you the punk in the bathroom over the last 2 weeks, a couple times, whatever. He was like, man, I swear to God, Dante, man, I on the set, man, I swear to God. Hell no. Hell no. I said, listen. Man, I ain't gay, man. I want to do no shit like that, man. He lied, man. They lying on me. I said, all right. I said, Al, give him that knife. He was like, what? I said, get little man that knife. If they lying on you, go in that cell and go kill him. He was like, huh? I said, yeah. If that sissy is lying on you, I mean, you said he lying, right? If he's lying on you, go. Al, give him the knife. Give him the knife. Oh, no, I don't think that's a good idea. Al, give him the knife. So Al, give him the knife. And little man standing there looking crazy. I said, if he lying on you, then go in the cell and go kill him. He was like, oh, no, Dante, it ain't that serious. I said, no, I mean, he was just serious when we were just in there. He was just serious just a few seconds ago. We were just cutting up like the way you was just cutting up. He was like, oh, no, man, I only got like 3 more years on my sentence. I'm trying to go home, man. I'm not. I said, listen, but you wanted me to put my life in danger and my crew life in danger of going at Big Thomas for some shit that you did? He was like, man, I'm sorry, bro. Now, I forgot to tell y'all, Lil Man had Flint Town, like, written on his bicep or whatever. He had Flint Town right there on his bicep or whatever, 810. I said, listen, either you go in that cell and go kill that sissy and then get at Big Thomas, or I'm going to kill you. And he was like, man, can you give me some time? I said, no, you ain't got no time to think. It's time to go and do it now. What you gonna do? He said, man, I guess I gotta. So he pushed off me and was like, guards, help, they trying to kill me. Help, guards, they trying to kill me. So there was a guard right there by the door, by the bubble. And he was like, what, man, what the, hey, man, y'all go lie down. So he run over there to the guard like, help, they trying to kill me. So he hit the door. And he basically grabbed Lil Man and put him behind the door, and they went in the bubble, right? So I'm like, no, this motherfucker didn't. I bet. So Big Thomas come over there to me. He was like, yo, what happened? What's going on? I said, hey, man, I got him. I'ma get him. I said, how much he owe you? He was like, the nigga owe me $300. I said, I got you. I'm going to take care of that. That motherfucker is mine. So he was like, all right, you know what, D? For you being a real nigga, man, shit, nigga, give me 150. I said, I got you. Right? So we go to lockdown. I send a kite out, right, to my homeboy Homicide. Homicide is back there in the hole, which I know that's what Lil Man is gonna end up going. So the note went like this. Now I'm gonna say what I'm about to say to y'all right now. Well, it is past the statute of limitations, so I guess I can say it. Forget it. So I tell him the kite went like this. When you see Lil Man, take that Flint tattoo off his arm. Right? So apparently, you know, Lil Man, when he got behind them doors, whatever, he told the police, like, yo, Dante is trying to kill me. Big Thomas trying to take him out. You know, he need to go to the hole. He need to check in or whatever. So they go in our pod or whatever, and they, you know, they get the cart and they pack his cell up or whatever, and they taking this to the hole. They pull me out, ask me a couple of questions. I'm like, man, I don't know what y'all talking about. I think this dude just trying to do a check-in move. I don't know. They called Big Thomas out. I don't know what they asked him or told him, but, he ended up coming back in too, whatever. So, Lil Man ended up going back there in a hole. And ironically, they put him in there with Homicide. Now, when he get in there with Homicide, he don't know that I haven't sent the kite out yet. I guess I spoke too soon when I told y'all maybe a minute ago about me sending the kite out. But eventually, I sent the kite out to Homicide the next day, right? And like I said, they ended up in the cell together because in the hole, it's a two-man cells, right? It's not single-man cells back there. So he get the kite, whatever. I'm going to say maybe a week go by. Now, I wasn't back there, okay? So I can't give y'all a step-by-step, detail for detail of what Homicide did. But we gonna end it like this. Lil Man didn't have Flint, Michigan 810 on his bicep anymore. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to my movie and my gaming channel. I'ma have that link pinned at the top of the comment section. Also, y'all subscribe to Stacy's Storytime. She's tell phenomenal stories just like myself. And if y'all feeling generous, make sure y'all leave me a tip. I'm accepting Cash App, Zelle, and PayPal. Until next time, y'all take care. I'm gone.